it's a crowd gathering up. And the guy on Wood had been there before me. So he pointed out and told me, you know, that's the dude over there from BMF. And I'm like, man, you know I got out last year. I kind of heard about them guys, but I just didn't believe they was making that much money.
This is '09.
Yeah, this '09.
But you had read the book.
I read the book in 2007. And I just couldn't believe that you know. So when he brought it up and he said the name, of course these guys originated in Detroit, so I know what he is. So I'm like, and when he said the name, I had to already read the book. So when he said Doc.
So at the beginning, you had the William Marshall nigga told these people that he seen me receive 80 to 100 kilos on at least 6 to 7 occasions. One instance he could remember for certain was 4th of July 2003, where I had a party at my house, a 4th of July party at my house. And after the party, when everybody had left, all the party goers left, a white limo came to my house and I unloaded it. And he helped me unload it with 80 to 100 kilos at my house, with just me.
Who is this now?
That's Doc, William Marshall.
Yeah, so just so people know, he's one of the, well, as far as the case, he was very important for the federal government.
No, he is the star witness.
But is he real? Like, did they, because the feds will do this sometimes. They'll have a lot of information and they'll need one guy to run it through, and they'll feed it to him and have him, was he really around like that to know all the information? He seems like kind of a flaky guy.
I was released from prison July of 2008. For attempted murder. Okay. I did 15 years for that. Came home out of state prison after reentry, after Ryan Road Correctional Program. I got let go 2008 July. Immediately got back off into the streets, the money, you know.
You had a wild incident.
Yeah, I really got released from prison. I wrote 3-4 books. So in my mind, I need the money to start a company, and I'm trying to go down that road.
Global Cooling Productions, which you're the head on.
Yep. So, you know, I was on that road. So I ended up getting into an incident that happened in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, you know, we'll talk about that later today. But
in a nutshell, what happened?
You know, me and a Mexican friend of mine, we went down to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Some guys allegedly, they wanted like 60 pounds that he had. And they robbed us for it. It was all a setup from the beginning. You know, in hindsight, looking back, you know it was all a setup from the beginning. And so they killed him. I shot 2 of them, and you know, self-defense type of deals. They came up in a little small Daisy room with AKs. So it was like, you know, you gotta protect yourself. But anyway, so I ended up shooting 2 of them to get them up off me, but they shot him first and ended up killing him. So anyway, I was on parole at the time. So they violated my parole, gave me 5 extra years. Just
no new charges.
Sure. No new charges. I was gave self-defense in Indiana. And, you know, that was pretty much it. And I don't really know at this point if they apprehended the guys that did it, because I didn't actually know the guys. You know, I went with a friend of mine, you know, but it was like, once they got the shooting, you're not looking at faces. You're trying to protect your life. So that's kind of how that went. But so I don't know the whole outcome of the case at this point. But I know that, you know, that's what led me to the violation. And from that point on with the violation, they sent me to Ryan Road Correctional Facility. And they was using it as...
That's in the city of Detroit.
Yes, that's right on the east side of Detroit. They got Mile Road, and then they got Ryan Road.
These two
prisons like right behind each other.
In the city, like
in Detroit, in the city, in the hood.
And there was an infamous incident at Ryan about 10 years before you were there.
Yes, like, you know, the big escape. You know, it's the second biggest escape in Michigan's history. 10 guys escaped. They threw the guys over the fence. Mark McLeod and his friends orchestrated it. And they was able to, they escaped. 10 of them escaped. 3 orchestrated it. But, the other 7 guys on the yard at the time just went with them because the gates was open.
That caused
You know,
them to change who was at that prison.
Yeah, they, the person, I mean, as far as the correctional officers and, just all that type of stuff. So they actually closed the prison down after that big escape, like, shortly after that, and just made it strictly for parole violations and health purposes for prisoners that had, extended, cancer and that type of deal. So Ryan Road was considered as used for that special programming, parole violators, and health. So once I got there, that's the first place you go before you're found guilty on your actual violation.
So you go straight,
whatever that is.
You don't even go to the county. You kind of go from the precinct to there.
Wherever you was caught at, you go straight to there.
Oh, you don't even go to the county.
As soon as they find you out, you on parole, you going there. Sometimes you might stop through the county first, but for the most part, a lot of people, once they find out you're on parole anyway. So, after I got there, I noticed the yards is different for regular prisons because, you can't.
Because there's people that might be only in there for a week or two or a month.
Yes. You might go in there and they see a parole violation ain't that serious and they overcrowd, they kick you out the next day. Or you got serious parole violation, you got to go to Jackson after that, which was me.
So the environment, even though it's prison guys and some are doing life, it's not, the atmosphere is kind of different.
Yeah, because of the guys that when they closed the prison, they left a few guys there. So from the actual prison. And the guys that they left there were guys they considered as good inmates. They didn't want no rah-rah. And they, and a lot of guys that's doing life in prison don't want no trouble. So they will leave you in situations, even if you got life, they'll leave you in those situations where, it's more comfortable and they know you got life. You ain't trying to cause no trouble. You trying to stay in the best living conditions that you in. So that was kind of the vibe around Ryan at the time. Like the guys that was there that did have life, they was there to get paid to take care of the health.
Oh, so there were dying inmates being sent there for hospice and for serious medical.
Yes.
So the lifers were there as orderlies and.
Yeah, the lifers were there like to work in the kitchen because they had to eat a certain type of food. So, they kept some lifers back that knew how to cook the certain type of food and knew how to work in the kitchen. So they got them lifers. Then they got the lifers that's tutors. They kept them there too for the guys.
So it's good inmates and it's people just passing through. There's no real structure
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm there for the parole violation. So even if you're guilty, you got to go through steps. So it might have took a couple of weeks to go through the process to get you to Jackson quarantine. So during that process, you go to the yard, you still get your recreational time. You get your couple hours a day in the morning and at night. So, at one point, me and a friend of mine, we were walking and I was smoking weed at the time. So I'm like, where's the weed? Who got some weed? He like, this is not like a regular place. They don't have weed around here because everybody's going and coming.
When before you got out of prison, before that when you were like in Macomb, like you said you could just buy weed from the guards?
Yeah, weed was accessible. Like it was nothing. Like nobody looked at it as wrong.
So you could just be like, hey, let's get some weed today, like you're in the street, let's go buy some weed?
Yeah. For the most part. Sometimes it would be like, dang, man, they ain't come in yet. Or
what?
We got to wait till tomorrow. But usually it's there. Yeah, it's readily available. So, the way they run it, Ryan Road is not readily available because you got guys leaving and coming, all the time. So, but anyway, in the midst of that, the conversation with smoking, it's a crowd gathering up. And the guy on Wood had been there before me. So he pointed out and told me, that's the dude over there from BMF. And I'm like, man, I got out last year. I kind of heard about them guys, but I just didn't believe they was making that much money.
This is 09.
Yeah, this 09.
But you had read the book.
I read the book in 2007. And I just couldn't believe that So when he brought it up and he said the name, of course, these guys originated in Detroit, so I know what he is. So I'm like, and when he said the name, I had to already read the book. So when he said Doc Williams Marshall, I know when he said the name at the time, I said, damn, I remember from reading the book. And the book was sort of like a documentary, so you feel like a lot of it is real. So I'm like, whoa, he told on both of them. He told on Terry and Meech. I'm like, wow. So as we walking and turning the corner, you can see is you know, you got different names of Muslims that's in prison. But at this particular time, it was Moors Americans, you know, short for Moabites. They were, it was a bunch of them over there talking to him. You know, just a bunch of guys. It was like he was a semi-celebrity, like literally, like. And so we kept walking, but we was talking about, a friend of mine told me that, yeah, they got him here. I don't know exactly what for, but I'm assuming.
To testify.
Yeah, some type of coming back to testify on somebody, you know.
Or they could have just been hiding them, or, you know, because it was a safe.
It was safe. And like I said, the people that was there that actually knew, they was treating him like celebrities. So obviously they knew it wasn't going to be a problem.
So that's pretty interesting. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, lots of people, I mean, I did jail time, been in and out, but I didn't do any prison. But when you're really in the prison yard system, as we know, a lot of people, in a lot of cases, a lot of people do some type of state's evidence informing. When you were in Michigan State prison, was it really that thing of like, oh, who told, let's stab him, or not?
Nah, see, state and federal is definitely different.
And each state might be different.
Yeah, and each state.
How was it where you were at with people that were people trying to figure out, did someone tell, or if it wasn't your case, no one cared?
Well, literally, it got to the point, back when I first went to prison in 1993, it was a process of changing that you seen. But back then in 93, I say all the way up into the 2000s maybe, yeah, you had guys that would, if you would come through prison with a bold case, and they knew you had a bold case, oh, you getting stabbed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you getting off the yard.
Now, what's a bold case? You mean?
Like if you don't rape a family member of this guy, and this guy might be scared to do it, or is somebody else gonna do it? They might not even know him.
Oh, okay.
You know, but
would they check? Would it have to be in the paper?
Yeah, it would be a process because trust me, it's unbelievable. But but us that was in prison, it's like we knew everything that was going on out in the free world without some of the people even in the free world knowing. It's just unbelievable.
I ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's like we knew. So when a guy was coming to prison, you knew what he was coming to prison for, especially if it was a big case or.
Okay, but what about just say it's some murders never run in a mill, but something that wasn't in the paper, but just a guy 2 cells down from you. Are you, maybe not you, but are people trying to figure out? Did he tell on his?
Well,
no one care if it wasn't involving you.
No, people care. See, this is the thing. You might not have your neighbor trying to figure it out, but trust me, if you in there for something bold, people in prison, we ain't got nothing else to do. Like we searching out, who is you? What's your name? What you? And eventually somebody gonna find out what's going on with you, and you got guys up in there once they find out, you go.
If you told, even if it got nothing to do with it.
If you raped a little kid.
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about telling specifically.
Oh yeah, you told on somebody for sure.
Oh, okay.
Back then, at that particular time, but you started to see a change.
Which was what?
Like you would see, like you might be on the yard, and the officer and guys on the court might get to fighting or whatever. At that particular time, back in the early night, you guys would be like, man, go on, police. They're shooting the police off. Like, get out of our business. We good over here. Like that. Yes, it was like that. But these days, as I get older and I'm finna go home now, police come over there. What y'all doing? Oh, officer, it's okay. It's okay. Or he over there on that garbage. He over there starting trouble. You like, wow, this has changed.
What do you think caused that? I don't hard to say.
I mean, I think it's just generational change. Like music change, everything changes, and I just think you know, as parents change, the way the kids grow up change, you know, so.
So tell us more about, did you see that?
So, yeah, of course. Yep. So, and I paid attention after that too.
Because just to reiterate, in that brief time you were out, you had, because you met me right after that?
Yeah.
Okay, but you put your books out, and everyone has a book, but you actually put them out and made money, because Dion has paid me to write scripts and do stuff for him. So Dion definitely I've been to his events, he was making legal money. And then, of course, for that brief period of time, you made the mistake of getting yourself back involved in criminal activity, which resulted in the unfortunate incident, R.I.P. Lupe in Indiana. So you're on money, like you're not just, because you went to prison for trying to carjack someone, they shot you, like it was pretty crazy, but you were 18. This time when you're back on a parole violation, not only are you a seasoned prison street guy, whatever you want to call it, you've made entertainment money right here in Detroit.
Right.
Significant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I feel like it was just.
You had made something.
Yeah, definitely.
So you knew you had a different, probably, vision on life and just money. So you were interested in him, just probably, not that you wanted to meet him, but just, it was interesting to see a character from a book you read 3 times live in the flesh.
Definitely. It definitely was that. Yeah. And like I said, I'm like, I didn't believe that these guys put this crew together that was making this much money.
But you said in that brief period with you just doing whatever it is you were doing for that brief time just in Detroit and the amount of money y'all tell us about this.
Yep. So it was like when I didn't believe it. I'm like, these guys BMF.
Because when you was in prison, it was for some robbery. You sold some drugs, but you never.
Yeah, you ain't really go. I ain't go full fledged and really seen them much. But when I come home and I got to dealing with my Mexican friend Lupe, I seen it like, wow, you like this is, especially if you talking about some years, 5, 6 years, 3, 4 years.
Run, yeah.
You know, straight, like, yeah, you know the right people. So yeah, he was definitely interesting to be able to see him in the flesh and whoever that was dealing with that type of engine in the flesh, you know. So
William Marshall, bro, had at that point in time, Doc Marshall was responsible for Southwest T and his crews, cars, places they lived, the houses, and all of that. He was in charge
of all that.
Yeah, he was the guy you go to get your houses and cars. So now what? Like right now, say,
so
hold on, watch this.
Though. He was a fraudster.
I don't know about that. Just hold on. Watch this. If I wanted a car and I needed a crib in Atlanta, then I could go to Doc and he could get me the shit and I give him the bread. But when I give him the bread and he get me the shit, he write my name down in his little ledger, say, Blue, got this house at this address, and it's $3,200 a month, and it's due on this date in his ledger. And he say, Blue has this car, and the payment is due on this date. So that's how he keeps track. They got the ledger, and that's how BMF got exposed. So what they did, once they got the ledger, they got all the T's Southwest, because we wasn't fucking with T&M at this time. So we didn't have shit, from my understanding. We probably did still have a couple spots with BI. The ones that got raided probably came from BI because he told, so that's why they got raided. But I wasn't fucking with that nigga like that. Like, my shit didn't come from Cuz. Like, so none of my cars and shit, none of my shit came through him. I ain't like that nigga anyway. I told Meech from the beginning.
What was he like? He seems kind of.
We still had the White House, and that nigga BI was trying to get too close to the other side and not do cars. I had said to Meech before, and he know this. He gonna hear this and see this one day. He gonna know I said this to him, and I'm gonna give him his response. He'll probably laugh at this. I said, damn, bro, why we just don't let the car man do cars and shit? Why? Because the car man know all the street niggas. So the street niggas know he fucking with BMF, he fucking with Meech. So the street nigga that's a regular nigga that's coming to drop him a bag for a car, like, nigga, here go 200,000, nigga, get me some shit from Meech, bro. You fuck with the nigga. So now he's coming bringing money to Meech, like, nigga, and me at first niggas was like, man, nigga ain't fuck with that nigga, man, like that, man, do the car. And then, I don't know, somehow nigga got in on the other side and nigga was fucking with some dope, so niggas, he was soft. So niggas tried to rob him. So when they come in the house, do the home invasion, his man was with him, killed one of the niggas, or he killed one of the niggas, one of them, I don't know how that went, and they ran up out the house. When they ran about the house, the police came up in there and found the floor safe. Pulled up the floor safe, had like 3 bricks in it. Then it had the ledger with all T&M houses and shit in it. So they went on to St. Louis, Detroit, all these places kicking in their processing houses and all that shit. And
So the
picked all
case
them niggas
really
up.
did start
With them niggas, bro. They picked all them niggas up, then they came, they told on us, and they came and picked us up, bro. That's how the shit went, flat out. Fuck what a nigga talking about. If you got the paperwork, you know.
And so when you say people treat him like a celebrity, what does that mean? Like he seemed very relaxed?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah. Bald head, clean bald head, jogging suit on. And imagine in prison.
Wasn't no PC, he walking around.
No, he walking around. But like imagine the whole setup of this prison, he is like PC.
Well, or just it's special.
Yeah, it's special. Cause I'm a parole violator.
So you ain't trying. You might go home tomorrow. You definitely ain't trying to do nothing. Yeah.
So it was like that type of environment. But at the end of the day,
did anybody have any chit chat, or it was so much turnover?
yeah. But the thing is, I did hear because I started paying attention that he was here now. So I know a couple other guys that don't like him, that was there. But they were parole violators. They finna go home. They ain't trying to.
But they
were letting people know out there that he's here.
Oh,
I know that for a fact.
yeah.
You know, so
what sort of problem could that have caused? Or just
in that particular place,
none.
I don't know. I don't think nothing. But you would know where he's at, and you would know probably where it's going after that. If anything, if somebody was really, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, I don't know if he killed nobody. I don't know.
No, he did.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how bad people.
He got 11 years there. He told on some other people, but a lot of people was connected to BMF.
Yeah.
But he ain't the only one who told in the BMF case.
Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, and those drug conspiracy cases, you know, I ain't gonna say
Yeah,
everybody
especially when
them, but a lot of people.
yeah, definitely. So when it came to him, I didn't know how much they was trying to get at him because it looked like to me, like I said, I heard people that did want to do something to him or they didn't like him because of what he did. And of course, I don't even know him, but I mean, I don't condone you ratting on somebody else when you was involved in it and you participated. Go do what you got to do. I mean, that's how I feel. But at the end of the day, you know, it happens. And, you know, I don't think people was looking at him as, okay, he killed my people. He did this or he did.
He was just a guy from a book.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. You know,
It's just so boring in there.
Oh, it's boring as hell in there because, you know, they ain't a regular prison. So ain't a lot to do. You know what I'm saying?
It's even more boring than normal.
Yes, yes.